he's not the typical. I'm trying to think of the right way to say this where I'm not just insulting, but like most people in that game, they know the rules and they know how to present themselves, and they're sort of conformists in a way, right? Like they're all playing the game the same way and they know how you're supposed to act. And Karl's not. People will say a bunch of shit that you're supposed to just nod your head and agree with, like, yes, we all agree this is the way the world works. And then he's like a little kid asking those deep questions, stuff that seems really stupid and basic. Like, you know, a child might ask about like, why is the sky blue is a cliche. And an adult will just wave their hands like, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. But actually, they don't fucking know. Or they might think they know, right? They'll explain, oh, the way the light comes through the atmosphere. They don't fucking understand it. But they know what they're supposed to say so that everyone shuts up, right? Like, oh, this is the game.
Yeah.
But Karl's not playing that game. And I think that's why people are confused.
Yeah. And that's the type of stuff that scares people, I guess.
Well, it scares people, but I think more, like so much of the show is just them shitting on him and acting as if, oh, it's so obvious that he's an idiot and everything he's saying is wrong, which as time goes on, I agree with them less and less.
Yeah.
Where the sophisticated, quote unquote, correct answer, it's not actually that close to reality. And it might be the vague, you know, dimness of Karl is actually more in tune with reality.
Yeah.
Like Ricky and Steven are putting bricks together in their mind and building up the way reality works. And Karl is more in the fog, authentically looking around and having real observations about things.
If I were to make a prediction, because like say I watched Outlaws and it seems like Merchant was giving a lot of thought to making sure everyone had a voice, because it's the first show I saw with like, he had a really woke, like activist character and then a really conservative character, you know, blue collar, probably Republican. And they were in the same room and they even like had they ended up being, you know, paired up a lot and had a lot to do, you know, totally different perspectives, but he put them together.
And I think most importantly, nobody was right or wrong.
Right.
Right. It didn't turn out that one of them was the good guy and the other one was the bad guy.
Exactly. And I think if that's the road he's more going down, if anyone's going to reunite, it would be Merchant and Karl. I think Ricky's gone the other road. Well, I'm just guessing, but just seeing that show, I'm like, all right, well, Merchant seems to be like wanting to hear from each perspective. I'm sure he agrees more with one or the other, but he's putting them both there and he's letting them say it. That's why I'm like, maybe Merchant softened up a bit and wouldn't, you know, just be like, oh, Karl, you're a fucking idiot. We're done. Maybe they would reunite, if anybody. So anyway, Ricky sucks now, and Karl's actually smart. Dude, I think Karl's going to be like, you know, like how Moby Dick, he died, the author of Moby Dick, and he thought his book was shit and nobody liked it, and then it became like the best book in the world. I think Karl's going to be like that, because as stupid as he is and what everyone says, he's like the only philosopher of our time, wise in his way, and just his demeanor and stuff. Like I said earlier, it is something to look up to because it helps. If you just observe it, it would have helped me. It did help me, and you learn lessons, and he's not forcing it. It's the way to be, because this episode is going to be called Karl Pilkington. Oh yeah, and Stephen Ricky. You know, like, and they're supposed to be the big dogs. But just by being, you know, a nice, open-minded dude or whatever, then you're going to be the headliner.
Well, I mean, for us, right?
For us.
I think we appreciate him more. I don't know how other people feel. Like, obviously, Ricky and probably Steven have made more money than Karl, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but there's definitely a group of us out there.
And if you're one of us, send us an email at thedimbrothers@gmail.com. Let us know what's happening on your journey.